Hello everybody, and welcome back to Let's Play Braid. Without any further ado, let's get going on World 4, which, once again, is the third world, and every time I say something like that, I feel like I'm in a Mr. Show sketch. So until now, we've had a relatively linear timeline whenever we played, and we could move back and forth on that timeline. Some items existed outside of that timeline, so we could rewind time without affecting their position, and if you're still following me, hold on, because things get a little bit trickier on this stage. In World 4, when you move to the right, the level moves forward in time, and when you move to the left, the level moves backwards. So the positions of items will move forwards or backwards in time, depending on which direction you're moving at any given time. So this is kind of a monumental leap forward in difficulty from the last world, and a couple of these levels, or a couple of the pieces, are actually regarded among most players as some of the hardest to get in the game. At least some of the hardest to conceptualize. Because things really take on a new kind of challenge at this point. But when we start with the pit, this is just basically the tutorial level to teach us what we're going to need to do for the rest of these levels. So what we're going to do here is cause the hedgehog to pick up the key, and then we're going to steal the key from him and just rewind time to get back up to the door. This is, no problem. We've basically seen this before. It's worth noting that the hedgehogs become of vital importance now. You're going to need to use them to get pretty much every puzzle piece. So again, this one looks pretty easy, right? You can just walk up the right side and go up the ladder. Actually, you can't, because there will be a hedgehog blocking the ladder at every opportunity, just because of the position in the timeline. So what we've got to do instead is take the right side up, and then jump on top of that hedgehog. And of course, we'll jump on top of him while moving backwards in time, because if we jump on him while we're moving forwards in time, or to the right, he'll die and we won't be able to use him. Now, just because we got that puzzle piece, doesn't mean we're going to keep that puzzle piece, because we're going to need to go back to the left as this level progresses. So we're going to actually have to lose that puzzle piece and then regain it again. So the game really starts to basically mindfuck you right now, for lack of a better term. So here, you just got to time your jumps appropriately, pick up that puzzle piece, and then we're going to get that key and make our way back. Because if you use a key on a door when you're moving to the left, the key breaks and does not work. So we have to always enter doors from the right on this world. And, I can't tell you how many times I've, on subsequent playthroughs of the game, gone through that door on the right thinking I just sussed everything out. But anyway. So as you see, we have to regain this puzzle piece because we lost it by going so far to the left. Go over here, pick up this puzzle piece, and now we're good to go. But of course we can't just walk out, because that would be too simple. We have to make our way over this cannon, but it's really not too much of a challenge considering what we just faced. Now, things continue to get more difficult, but I'm going to let this one, at least the first part of it, play out and you guys can watch it. I was reading something online, and I'm very excited because Jonathan Blow is actually releasing a new game in 2011. For those of you who maybe are not aware or have not been following the Let's Play so far, Jonathan Blow is the developer and creator of Braid. So one of the more famous indie developers, at least right now. He's coming out with a new game called The Witness, supposedly in 2011, but, anything can happen when you've got games that have... Well, first off, games that are being developed entirely by one person, but also with, kind of a broad scope and incredibly innovative game mechanics. So apparently that game... He considers Braid to have kind of turned the platforming genre on its head. The Witness is going to apparently turn the point-and-click adventuring genre on its head, which works for me because I'm horrible at those games. I can't think abstractly enough to beat them consistently, to solve their puzzles. Like games like Machinarium, I need to walk through every single time. So hopefully I'll be able to play that one. So now, having gotten this hedgehog over to this side to pick up the key, we're just going to go down and get it ourselves now. Remember, if you jump on the hedgehog moving to the right, he will die, which is not necessarily a bad thing. But if you jump on him to the left, you can reuse him. So you could potentially double jump or even triple jump off of an enemy, provided that you're jumping on them in reverse. And this is something that we're going to need to use several times throughout the course of this world in order to get the puzzle pieces. In terms of upcoming indie games, I've got to say that based on my affection for Braid, The Witness has got to probably be my #1 right now, but I'm also really looking forward to this game called Spy Party. I'm not sure. I think if you follow the indie game scene, you're probably familiar with Spy Party, so I won't say too much about it, but it's being developed by a former EA employee named Chris Hecker, and it looks really fantastic. Go look that up. It's going to be a good time. So right here, I'm trying to jump on the hedgehog, and I finally succeeded. Basically, we're just gonna replay the whole level until I can jump on this hedgehog, and then use this ladder to get up. This time mechanic really plays with your mind, and you know things were tricky on the last world, but you really have to plan out what you're gonna do in advance here. But it's worth noting that if you make a mistake, you can almost always rectify it just by walking all the way to the right. Or sorry, all the way to the left to reset things to their original position. So Hunt is actually one of the hardest levels in this world. And a lot of people get stuck on this one. So what we're going to do is we're going to move pretty much all the way to the left, and this will illuminate the order that we need to kill the hedgehogs in. So you can see right there, in order from left to right, that's the order that we need to kill the hedgehogs in. So we're going to start with this one up on the top. And remember, have to be moving to the right when you kill them, otherwise it doesn't count. Then we're going to come back here and jump on this hedgehog to get on this platform. Again, it didn't really matter if you jumped on him moving to the right or left there, because he would come back to life anyway. So now we've killed the second one, and every time you kill one, you can kind of pause and see the order that you need to do. So we're going to do another hedgehog jump. Get up here, kill this hedgehog, and then you can see we're going to kill the bottom one, and then we're going to kill the top one and unlock that puzzle piece. This took a while for me to figure out, I can't deny that. To get to the top here, you have to double jump, or triple jump if you're so inclined, off of this enemy. But you also have to be moving to the right on your final jump, otherwise it won't kill him, so you won't be able to unlock the puzzle piece. So you gotta be really on with your jumping here. And again, I've managed to triple jump off him several times now, but I just can't seem to kill him and triple jump off of him. So we're just going to rewind time, get back to the top here. Things get very confusing when you're not only rewinding time, but also moving backwards through time. I'm not even going to attempt to make sense of that. I'm just glad that that door was not affected by time, so once it unlocked for good. And now here we get introduced to another kind of escort mission that the game is quite fond of, but they do escort missions well in this game. They don't do it like any other game I've ever played, really. This is another one of the most challenging ones, and the first puzzle piece is a little bit tricky. The second one is incredibly difficult just to conceptualize what you need to do. But as I like to say, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. So right now we're just going to focus on getting this hedgehog to that key on the left side. Is that a hedgehog? I've been calling them fuzzy things, and I felt like a freaking idiot. So I'm just going to stick with hedgehogs. So we're just going to take things nice and slow here. The piranha plants, of course, go into the ground so slowly and come out a little bit faster, but a little bit later they're going to come out at rocket speed. So we're going to have to be very careful with these escort missions. So now that we've got up to this part, we're just going to try to escort this hedgehog by jumping from this platform to the next one, and then walking a little bit further after that. And then he will walk to the far left side and pick up that key for us. So now if we just book it, we should be able to get him over there, listen for the key sound, and there it was. And then as long as we can move him out, we can just go back and get the key ourselves. It doesn't matter if the hedgehog dies. But of course, because we're moving to the left, the hedgehog will not die. So we'll pick up this key, which is not affected by time. And at this point, I could just rewind time instead of going through these piranha plants, but it seems to me like my mind is already so messed up at this point that I'd rather just keep it as simple as possible. Anytime you can just move from one place to the other without having to manipulate time, it feels like a refreshing change of pace. So we'll kill this rabbit, and then we'll come over here, and this puzzle, I'm not really going to explain how to do it. I just want you to watch and see. So if you're watching this as a walkthrough, pay close attention here. Basically what I'm doing is setting up the positions that I want to be in a little bit later. So starting now, then I'm going to rewind time to those positions, and at those positions the piranha plants will be down, basically. That was my Those are my landmarks for those positions. Then we're just going to bounce on this guy, pick up the puzzle piece, and we're good to go. I'd like to apologize. I guess I can't really say in advance at this point, but apologize for the length of these videos. I considered breaking them up, but I kind of felt like that would take away from the experience. So, you know, if you need an intermission, feel free to pause right now, get some popcorn, go use the washroom. I promise you I won't be offended. If you're using the washroom right now while you're watching, though, I am a little bit offended, I gotta say. Your laptop is probably very, very dirty. Take it to a cleaner's. So this is conceptually not that difficult, but just in terms of escorting this hedgehog is hard to execute. So we've got to get the hedgehog between those two piranha plants that come out of the pipes at light speed. So what we got to do is kind of slide him into the middle there between the piranha plants and let him kind of hang out there until we can get up to this ladder and then run to the right side to get him to pick up the key. So I was stuck here for probably maybe 3 or 4 minutes, but through the powers of video editing, it looks like I'm a master, and you can hear the key sound, so that's our cue to go over and pick it up. And you know, not that concerned about dying at this point, just because it's so easy to work around, obviously. So you know, I just kill myself a couple of times, again and again and again. So on these cloud bridges, when you're moving to the left, you go a lot faster, so time goes back a lot faster. When you're moving to the right, things go a little bit slower. And I've kind of put myself in a rough position here, because now whenever I want... How to explain this, given the time problem. Okay, basically the only position where I can pick up that key is when the key is on top of the piranha plant. And since the piranha plant comes out of the pipe so fast, this is almost impossible. Or at least, it's going to take me a while to line it up in order to make it look right. But if I could just pick up the key and then maybe die again, that would be enough. Unfortunately, that damn piranha plant isn't fucking around. And again, we could get the key and go and try to go through on the right side, but going through on the right side would break our key, so we actually could not get the puzzle piece. And I think now the other keys should be accessible to me, so I can just jump over, pick it up, and then be a little bit more careful this time, and more easily obtain the puzzle piece. Good. So now there's only one more puzzle piece on the level, and it's actually one of the easiest in the world to obtain, as long as you know where it is. So we're just going to come over to this side, jump on the ladder, and then take a leap of faith, and the cloud bridge actually comes out to help us. But it doesn't do this, it's not like contextually dependent on you jumping out. It jumps out because you're moving to the right, and that's the position that it was at that point in time. Fickle Companion, at the start of the video when I mentioned that some of these are regarded as some of the hardest levels in the game, Fickle Companion is probably the hardest one to figure out, both to conceptualize and to execute, as you will see. So I've got kind of an advantage here, obviously, because I've played through the game so many times and I know what to do. Basically, we're going to get this hedgehog to hold on to that key and bring it in for us. But we're not going to kill him, we're just going to steal it from him. Get the puzzle piece, and since the puzzle piece isn't affected by rewinding time, we'll go back in time to the very start of the level, and then get to work on that second puzzle piece. Now the second puzzle piece, I wouldn't necessarily say it's any easier or harder to get, whereas the first one is a lot harder to conceptualize than to execute. This one is a lot harder to execute than conceptualize. It's pretty easy for you to see what you need to do, but in order to do it, your timing has to be quite good. So what I'm trying to do is get this hedgehog escorted to the other side, but also be on that middle platform, and then I'm going to run up and kill him, take the key, and go into the door. I can't just take the key from the start, walk up the ladder, and go into the door, because as soon as I move to the left, which I need to do to get to that second ladder, I lose the key. So the key has kind of a... I shouldn't actually say it has a mind of its own. It's exactly following the position that I had it in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the key up here, then when I move left, the key will go back up there. So hopefully the hedgehog will pick it up, because the key will be in the proper position. I'll climb up the ladder, and you know, it'll all be good. It'll all blow over in the morning, as Shaun of the Dead would say. But I kind of botched it a little bit there, yeah, because the key dropped back down to the bottom. Alright, but this time, third time's a charm. Get the key, stand over near the switch, kill this hedgehog, and then we'll escort his reincarnated buddy over here on the platform, and you know, it'll all be a-okay. Yeah, looking good so far. Thing is, remember, because when you jump on this hedgehog, you're going to go up to the next level. Instead of going back down the ladder, because that will mess with the key, just rewind time and you'll be fine. So I believe that is all of the puzzle pieces, so we can head back to base and try to assemble this puzzle. But first, of course, we have to find out where our princess is. And no bonus points if you're guessing that she's located in another castle, but the game does something kind of cool with it here. Sometimes when I'm playing through this world and I have to go back and forth so often, which changes the music, I kind of feel like I'm playing DJ Hero or something. So let's take a crack at this puzzle. And this one's actually, it's got a couple of easy landmarks on it, so I don't consider this to be... This is right on my alley in terms of puzzle difficulty, I'd say. So yeah, you know, I'm really impressed with myself for having the mental capacity to solve a 12-piece puzzle. But again, with those landmarks, it's not so hard for me. The blueness of the door, there's some lamps, clearly oriented room. I know what I'm looking at, whereas in some of the other puzzles, I had no idea. I'm not really sure at this point if the puzzle pieces have, I don't want to say any relevance to the game, but if they have any special significance, but hopefully we'll find out as we get a little bit further. I don't want to potentially spoil anything, let's put it that way. And yeah, I'm actually zooming right along on this puzzle, which is kind of a rarity for me, to say the least, particularly if you saw the first two videos. With only 4 pieces left, it should be pretty easy to just finish this off and get to the end. And I promise you, if you thought that was crazy, that world of Braid, there's still a lot of surprises in store for you, let's put it that way. The game really plays around with your mind, which I like. So you got a nice little shot of somebody's bedroom here. Then we're going to go down. Now would be a good time for a bathroom break if you have to. And then we're going to bypass World 6 and go to World 5. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.